You've always heard that you need to invest, but you don't know where to begin.
Don't worry, leave that to us. We've been teaching people how to invest for the last 8 years and have helped over 45,000 people get started with investing in a simple way. And now we've made the process even easier by creating a course that teaches you how to get started investing in 5 simple steps. And it's called our L.E.A.R.N method.
Before you invest, you need to 1. Look at your financial position. 2. Establish your personal goals. 3. Assess your investment options. 4. Research the best options for you. And 5. Normalize investing regularly.
With these 5 easy steps, you can start your investment journey with confidence and clarity. But wait, there's more. We've created templates and resources to help you take action right away. After this course, you will know how much you have to invest, your investment targets and timelines, and how to invest to achieve your goals. Register now at learngrowinvestclub.com.
All right. Hope everybody is doing well. All right. So I think this is going to be one of those interesting videos as usual. Good to see everybody here already. So before I get into my 3 stocks, and this video may actually surprise you the way we do it. I want to hear from you, right? What is your favorite dividend stock and why? So this episode is going to be for dividend investors. So if you're not a dividend investor, if you're not interested in earning income through stocks by getting dividends, this episode may not be interesting for you. Let me just say that right now, right? Because this one is going to be all about dividends. So let me know in the chat. And I see some of you have been sharing some stuff already. Let me see. Nicola says TJH for both dividends and capital appreciation. L.E.A.R.N says Jamaica and Carreras. Raquel says Scotia. Does Scotia pay a good dividend? Raquel, what's the yield on Scotia? Roger says GHL, Indies, Jamaica and Carreras. Raquel says GK. Shane says GHL and Carreras, and Techie Investor says GHL, Jamaica and NCB. Okay. All right. So let me just wait for a few more comments. So what is your favorite dividend stock and why? All right. Let me know and I will call them out for you. And what I will do as well. So let me know if you have any dividend related questions, right? So if you have anything that has always concerned you about dividends, you're not sure how they work, you want to understand them better, let me know, right? And I have a surprise for you dividend investors, right? So I'll announce that later on. But first, let me do something here real quick. I wanted to make this announcement here. Completely unrelated, but I have to do it nonetheless. Let me share my screen over here. So while you are sharing those comments, I'm going to be multitasking, right? So we've launched, and this would have come out in your emails today, a brand new Grow Your Wealth YouTube channel, right? So if you're new to us, we host this annual conference every year. This is our 4th staging this year, so we're having it on April 18th. That one is focused on business, entrepreneurship, and the one in November is focused on personal finance. So we do 2 conferences every year, and so we've launched a brand new YouTube channel because we want to be able to roll out some content, but it may not interest those who follow this channel. But we do know we have some entrepreneurs in our network, and so we thought the content would be best focused on another platform. So what we're doing over the next 2 months is rolling out some of our past presentations content, clips, etc. So we've rolled out all of these videos already. So you can go over that channel now. Some of them are scheduled, some of them have already aired. So you can subscribe, and we would have sent it out in the email today. So if you are new, you can subscribe. And then of course, I recommend that you check out the conference website. Early bird tickets are available until the end of the month, right? So 3 days from now, early bird prices end. Let me just go straight to that first. So ticket price is $15,000 for general admission, full day access to the conference, lunch and break included, and you get a gift bag. And then VIP, you get a VIP breakfast with speakers, access to the VIP lounge. And last year, the VIP lounge was a hit. It was our first time, ever doing it. Persons loved it. Exclusive VIP gift bag, full day conference. You get preferred seating, and of course, your entry is faster, right? So for only $30,000, and we still have some VIP tickets left. These are some of our speakers. Everybody knows Kalila here. We have Jared from Trinidad, Jace, who has his own media company. And we have Lou Kwamina, who is from Trinidad as well, and then myself here. We have some more speakers that we'll roll out over the next few days, and Sophia Campbell is our host. And so you can see the details on the website, etc. So now it has its own YouTube channel, it has its own website, and it has its own page on IG as well. So you can be sure to check that out when you have the chance, and just know that we'll be separating the content. So just like we separated the investor relations content, like the earnings calls, etc., on our investor relations channel, we have just financial education content on this channel, and then we have conference on another channel, right? So 3 YouTube channels to make it easier for you to focus on what you want to receive from us, all right? Get that out of the way. Let's go back to what you're saying now. So I think I mentioned yours already. Gen Z Pool Guy says NCB. Nakia says GHL, SCI, TJH, Massey. TJH and CAR, simple companies to track and understand for me, and the cash flow is pretty constant, and both come with cap gains. Okay. Future Mind said Kintyre. Has Kintyre ever paid a dividend? Am I missing something here? Guys, let me know if I'm wrong. Has Kintyre ever paid a dividend? Not that I am aware of. I must have missed something. Let me know, guys. I might be wrong. I don't recall them ever paying a dividend. Jason says TJH, GK, Epley, and no, David Mullings loves Epley. SGJ, GK, Trans Jamaica, sustainable and varied business models with possibility of future growth. I like that. Ajani is saying, where is his Woodcat shares? They are on their way to you. They're in the mail. So just, sit tight. They'll get to you soon enough. Out of my 3, I would select Trans Jamaica because it pays me the most amount of money yearly. Currently trying to build out the other one. Okay. All right. Tashia or Tashian says TJH 8.0. Interesting. TJH and JC. JC pays dividends? I think so. I think I got a dividend check from them once. And yeah, so I see the comments coming in. Okay. All right. So let me just jump right into the first one. It's 10 minutes. I want to give you something. So the first one that I'm going to mention here, and it's a company that I've been a shareholder on and off for a while, right? I'm learning that I need to give disclaimers when I am a shareholder for a stock. So let me just say before I go through this video, I am a shareholder of some of the stocks that I'll be sharing. I'm not a shareholder of some of them, so just bear that in mind. And of course, you want to speak to your licensed financial advisor before making any investment decision. And please understand that as I share this video, share my strategy, share the things that are on my mind, it does not, it should not impact you making your own decisions and doing what's best for your own portfolio. All right, so the first stock that I'll highlight here that has been, I think, to use the word consistent, but it has been, kind of there for me on and off, right? So I've positioned myself to get a fair amount of dividends from it over the year, but they only pay dividends once per year, right? So that's my only kind of hang up about it. But the company is, let me share my screen here. That company is in this Pharma, right? So I have to give a shout out to Chike Verwe, who first put me onto Indies back in like 2018, 2019. And so we used to just, look to this stock for some capital gain, sure, but for dividends as well. And let me go straight to it. You see, they've kind of announced a dividend at least once per year for the last 4 years, right? Unfortunately, I can't go back any further with the JSE's website, but you see consistently above 11 cents. So of course, depending on the price, sometimes the yield is attractive, sometimes it's not. But what I'm going for here and what I look for in this company is really just the consistency of the dividend, right? Because you notice it's for a certain amount, it's at least once per year, and they were actually able to increase that dividend for last year, right? So I'm actually anticipating this year that they're going to be increasing this dividend or at least maintaining what they did last year, right? So at the time of this recording, let me calculate what the yield is based on the current price. So assuming that we work with the same dividend as last year, for the current price, that would work out to about 4.9%, right? So, and I hear some of you like, Jermaine, your threshold is 5%. That is correct. The threshold remains. So the yield is going to be a function of your personal average price. And so though I use the current price, I'm just doing that for the basis that if somebody was to purchase a stock right now, that's what the yield would be. All right. So that's it for Indies. Let's have a look at the company as well. But as you notice, paying dividends consistently. And let me calculate how much that dividend comes up to as well, right? So 13.50 here, and let's multiply by the shares outstanding, which is 1,332,536,649. So that's about 179 million in dividends here based on the dividend per share and the amount of dividend that was announced, right? So that's 179 million paid in dividends. So let's look at their most recent numbers here. So the first one, in case anybody missed it, is in this Pharma. So this is their Q4 numbers for 2025. So one thing we know is that they would have had a debt that they refinanced back, I think, in September. And so let's see how they did for their last set of financials here. All right, yeah, I'm going to use the summary because that's just easier to go through because this is not really a stock analysis video. So we have here revenue for the 12 months ended October was 1.12 billion. Just slightly down, about 2.7% down from what they did in 2024. Gross profit slightly up by 0.2%. Profit from operations down 14%, and the net profit for the period was 174 million, right? So you notice the dividend that they paid last year was 179, and they have here 174. So that's the first thing that kind of, I'm wondering if based on what they do, what they did last year. So we'll look at what the rest of the numbers look like, because they may actually go back based on how profitable they were last year to where they did the year before. So I'm thinking at minimum, at least that 11 cents will be paid. But of course, it depends on what the board discusses and agree to in terms of approach, right? So total comprehensive income is looking at 609 million here. So I guess that's the number I should be looking at here. So that 180 million in terms of dividends should at least still be possibly here based on the amount for the year. So total income for the year being 609 million. Actually, I think that could increase that dividend because they did 221 million the year before. So that's why I'm kind of anticipating or I'm hoping rather for an increased dividend for this year based on the amount of profits that they had last year, right? So if they were able to do, let's say, I mean, they increased it modestly last time. So let's say they do a 15-cent dividend here. And with the current price, they'll be looking at a 5.5% yield. So that even with current prices, that would put it over in terms of my 5% minimum there. And of course, EPS was 13 cents. Total assets, shareholders' equity, and total liabilities are the numbers that you see there. All right. So I think they had some outlook here. So despite the negative impact caused by Hurricane Melissa leading to a loss of revenues and IT software challenges by the government platform causing delays, the company is maintaining consistency in its revenues is a very strong signal and an optimistic indicator for future optimistic performance. The approval of their generic drug is completing production in December, right? So that's awesome to see. To make its entry in the US markets in the upcoming fiscal year continues to be another optimistic indicator of stable and sustained growth for the Indies Pharma investor community. The long-awaited approvals from the planning authorities in this fiscal year and a 3-acre real asset is another important milestone. Their resilient team's hard work and unwavering dedication behind the above consistent results and progress, their investor community is poised to reap the benefits. The management and board expresses their sincere gratitude to their staffs, shareholders, and related stakeholders for their continued support while they continue to build back their nation from the recent natural calamity. All right. So I'll go and look at the balance sheet as well briefly. We looked at the profitability before. So this is the state of their balance sheet as at their end of year, but this is all the way from October, right? We see total assets 2.9 billion. So they have cash, but I'm not seeing the number for cash and cash equivalents. Is that I don't know what's going on here. Why those numbers are missing? I don't know if it's just for me. So this is the bond I think they refinanced. So that's that. Or did they refinance Sagicor with the NCB? I can't remember. I think it was this before, and okay, so NCB 9.5 here. I think this is the one that they refinanced. And let me see here. We spoke about the dividend declared. It says here 149 million. Did I do a miscalculation, or is this from, this is from 2023? Okay. And then this is 2024. Okay, I got that number, 179. So we'll see what it is for last year. For this report coming. So that's the first one. All right. Yeah, so persons about the ads, I haven't figured out how to stop it yet, unfortunately. So sorry about that. It's a platform we're using. There's this ad setting. I don't know how to turn it off, unfortunately. So my apologies for that. I'll try to figure it out maybe by the next stream. That's the first one, right? So in this consistent dividend here, with the opportunity based on their cash to actually increase their dividend. So that's one of the things that I'm looking at for this year in terms of that improved dividend outlook. And so that's it for them. Of course, I recommend you do your due diligence. I saw a few of you mention in this earlier as well. So there's that, right? So Roger had mentioned indies, and let me see. Oh, it was only Roger. Okay. So only Roger agrees with me so far. All right, cool. So let me move to the next one, but I'm checking your comments here. Ashton says AMG. I haven't looked at AMG in a minute. Haven't looked at AMG in a minute. I haven't looked at AMG. Let me have a look. Let me check out AMG. What is AMG's yield, Ashton? And that took a while to load. So AMG, let me, currently trading at $2, down 6%. They did announce a dividend last year. They didn't announce one the year before. That's a problem for me, Ashton. You have to announce a dividend every year. You have to. Like, as a dividend investor, that dividend is not optional, right? So AMG wouldn't make my short list. Unfortunately, this says notice of dealing. I don't know what this is about. Let me check this out. Might be something interesting. Who knows? Notice of dealing. Okay, somebody had traded, and that is 2.7 company. Okay, cool. So trading in shares. Said dealing. I thought maybe they did a deal or something. Okay, so 12 cents here. I can, let me see, that 12 cents may look a little bit attractive, but the question is, will they pay one? That's 5.9%. So Ashton, the yield intrigues me, but I'm not a fan of the inconsistency, right? Not a fan of the inconsistency. So that's my issue here. The normally announced one, at the start of the year, we haven't seen any yet, right? Normally they announce in February or December. January, I'm not seeing anything. So they may not be paying one this year at all. So sorry, Ashton. Not making my watch list with the inconsistent dividend. All right. So Tashian says, Indies really do pay decent dividends. I was pleasantly surprised by the dividend based on what I initially purchased. Exactly, right? That's why they're one of my favorites. That's how it works, right? You pay a consistent, healthy dividend, you're gonna be one of Jermaine's favorite companies. All right. So let me move to the next one. Actually saw somebody mention it, right? No, I'm not currently a shareholder of this company, but it's one of the only companies that I know in Jamaica that does drip, right? So I'm not a shareholder of this company currently, but I have to give a shout out to Sterling Investments because, again, it was Chike who brought me onto this company many years ago. The stock price does not move much, right? The price like hardly moves. It's like from 290 to about 310. It does not move, at all, but that makes it consistent, right? So let's check out what the yield is for this one. So I'm seeing a twice per year consistently here. Very good to see. I love consistency. So this says US, let me work out that here. So 0.0005 times 2 times 160. That's 16 cents. Then we divide by 309. That's a 5% yield. So ding, ding, ding. That's another winner right there. So Sterling Investments Limited, another one of my favorites because of the fact that one, the dividend is consistent, so twice per year. The price pretty much maintains. I don't remember why. Chika had told me why, or it was David Rose. Somebody told me, right? They do this kind of consistency. They do this kind of consistently. So let's look at their last numbers here. And I'm just a fan of Sterling Investments in general, right? We have a good relationship with them as a company, and I've always been a fan of their work. So let me see here. All right, looking at the outlook here, then we look. Hopefully you can see this. So management anticipates that the current political and economic uncertainty will provide attractive investment opportunities. The portfolio is well positioned to take advantage of the market volatility as management has liquidity available and leverages below historical levels and below internal limits. This process is unlikely to be linear and will likely be punctuated with periods of volatility and price declines. And of course, this is their numbers as at June 2025. So total assets stand at 1.7 billion. Is this in USD? I'm not sure. I'm going to assume it's Jamaican. And then, of course, we see margin loans payable, preference share, retained earnings, 545 million. And this is their numbers for 6 months. I don't know why I thought it was in the year. So profit for the year is looking at 82 million. This must be US. 82 million. Is it USD? Let me see how much shares outstanding. 436 million. So it's 16 cents multiplied by 436, 815712. That's about 70 million, right? So, okay. All right, that works right there. That math is mathing. All right, so Roshane says just Googled SIL dividend growth is at 80%. There you go. And what do you think about the returns offered by bonds? Would the local listed bonds offer more than 5%? Tryon, you make a very good point, sir. Let me tell you my issue with that, right? So I have a lot of rules as it relates to dividend investing, right? So I'm pro dividend stocks as opposed to bonds and preference shares because of the potential for price appreciation, right? So nothing against a bond, nothing against a preference share, but I like the potential for upside, right? So even though I'm primarily a dividend investor, meaning I'm naturally attracted to dividends, I like the idea of potential upside, right? I'm not investing for that all the time, but it's nice to see those stocks go up. I mean, I think that's probably why I haven't really invested in Sterling, because I had it for a while. It didn't get any price appreciation at all, even though it pays a consistent dividend. Because I said it moves between like a 290 to 310 range. It rarely goes outside of that. So that just, I mean, I like some upside, right? Give me something, right? It doesn't have to be much. I'm not going for any like massive thing, but some upside is good, right? So that I think that's my only issue with Sterling, is that the price doesn't seem to go outside of a certain range. All right. So let me see here. Okay. So I'll take a couple more comments and I'll get into the last one. Honorable mention is Mailpack. I think Mailpack will do. So two companies get honorable mention for me here. So Mailpack, I'm anticipating will increase their dividend this year based on how they did last year. And Seprod, I don't know if you guys saw Seprod's numbers. I think I saw the article said that they doubled their profits for last year, right? I haven't dug deep into the article. I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but I know PB Scott loves his dividends, right? So So I think if it's at all possible, then we may very well see something. So two notable mention. I have gotten consistent dividends from Mail Pack over the years. And I was a separate shareholder for a long stretch. I bought it when it was at $23.99 and held it for a little while, right? So I got consistent dividends there. And I have a question for you, right? What was my first stock to pay me a dividend, right? I think this will be a little fun little quiz in the middle of the stream. Let me know which stock you think paid me my very first dividend as an investor, right? Let me know in the comments. If I'll allow like 10 guesses the most. And so you can just let me know. So what's the first stock? I'm asking you if you can guess the first stock to ever pay me a dividend. And this was before I was really a dividend investor, right? Not Microsoft. Good guess. Was it Microsoft though? Wow. You know what? I think you may be right. Wow, I think you may be right. I think you may be right. That was not the stock I had in mind, but you may be right. Urban Outlet. Was it Microsoft? Microsoft's dividend yield is terrible, terrible. But the cap gains have been awesome, and this is an excellent point by Ryan here. And Ryan, I can't understand being a dividend investor but wanting cap gains. Why not be a cap gains investor who also like dividends? It's a valid question, sir. We all have our preferences, right? So I think I've done fairly well in terms of capital gains. It's not my primary focus, but I believe that I'm an opportunistic investor. So if something to me is like an obvious investment, like there's obvious kind of upside to it, I'll build a small position, maybe take my cap gains when they come. But I'm not opposed to it, but it's not my primary focus because I've learned to just invest the way that I have. It's been working for me. I mean, it's an extremely valid question, but I am who I am. As Paul would say, by the grace of God, I am who I am. Right? So I've never owned Apple shares. This is the stock I was thinking about, VMIL, because VMIL was my first stock, well, my first local stock. I don't remember if they paid me a dividend before Microsoft though. So it is a toss up between VMIL and Microsoft. So the person who said Microsoft first, Urban Outlet, you may be right, but I did have in mind VMIL. So thank you for both of you who said that and got that right. It's one of those two. All right, so the final stock, and I don't need to spend a lot of time talking about this one because I'm sure everybody knows what it is. I'm surprised you're all still here, right? Because I'm sure you know what the last stock is going to be. So the last stock, of course, can anybody guess what the last stock is? So the two that I mentioned so far, in this Pharma and Sterling Investments. Raquel says TJH. Is that the last one? Anybody else? Love says drum roll. Ryan, I am still waiting for the lab. When was David Mullings on? September, October? I'm still waiting for the lab. I'm still waiting for the lab. As I said, I did not see it. I'm still waiting to see it. I'm hopeful for you. I don't know if you're a lab shareholder. Because I mean, David broke down the reasons why, and I mean, it's certainly, I would love to see them do well, right? I couldn't see Couldn't see. So X-Ray Design says, I just joined, don't even know the topic, but the answer is always TJH. That sounds like serious stereotyping. I don't appreciate that. I feel hurt that you would say that. And out of, I feel like, to be like my son right now, and out of spite, I'm gonna say it's not TJH. Urban Outlet, Jamaican politics, I'm not even gonna say what you said. Richard Pedler, BNS. I don't think BNS is a stock. I'm assuming you mean Scotia. Who is MGL? Mayberry Group Limited. I actually had Mayberry shares a long time ago. No longer a shareholder though. Michael said, Michael says he knows me. Wow. You guys is not cool. Not cool. I'm feeling a lot of peer pressure here. Feeling a little peer pressure, right? But isn't it? Come on, Jeremy. You know what? I don't even know why. Why I do streams, right? Remember, you're the TJH boss. No, I'm not. But when you're at an investor briefing, the CEO, the entire team calls you by name. They know you. That's stood out to me for sure. I was at the TJH investor briefing, and I asked my question for everybody's benefit. Hopefully, you guys appreciated the question that I asked, because I did that for you guys. Troyan, thank you for stating this company. If you caught a video that I did last year, I did a video that said 3 stocks I think can be the next Trans Jamaica. Kingston Wharves is one of them. I'm a big fan of Kingston Wharves. Actually, I don't have a good reason to tell you why I don't own shares. Opportunity cost is probably the reason, but I really like the company for sure. Ryan is asking, am I back in TJH? Carreras is considered a sin stock. Yes. So I was going to do a video on that. Actually promised to do it. It somehow just keeps getting pushed back, but I am going to be doing a video as to my reasons for not investing in Carreras, SVL, and I just can't. It just keeps getting pushed. I have a list of like 90 videos that I've wanted to do, and it's just not there, right? What do I think about JetCon? I don't know. I've always, do they pay a dividend? So this video, Mad Whack, is about I don't know if they pay a dividend. Ryan, that is intentional. I'm not answering that one. I'm not answering that one. Everybody here knows me or seem to think that they have me pegged. So the audience will tell you, since they know me that well. Epley, if you can get it. Interesting. Let me see. Is Epley not liquid? Are you talking Epley Limited? Are you talking the which one? Oh, you may be right here. Not a lot of you're not seeing my screen. Not a lot of shares being traded here. But it's only 192 million units, right? And I'm figuring that's mostly in the top 10. Liquidity is important. Liquidity is extremely important, for sure. Let me see. KW tricky though, it would be for potential cap gains. Apple traded 2 units today. Wow. Oh my gosh. I couldn't do that. That would give me heart palpitations. I can't. I want liquidity in all the stocks that I invest in. A certain amount of liquidity, of course. But this would be Like, I mean, it would really depend on the price, right? So let me say that because as somebody who's invested privately, I've invested in private companies before, and so I mean, I can't trade those companies, right? So it's not that I can't ever invest in a company that doesn't have liquidity, but it would have to be an intentional long-term decision, right? All right, so let me wrap this up because I didn't plan to go 40 minutes. I have a meeting in a few minutes, right? So of course, everybody kind of guess since it's a dividend video, I can't be in good conscience to not say this is one of my favorite dividend stocks. After being a company that I've had, I've shown an interest in for a very long time. So Trans Jamaica Highway, I must say though that I had a conversation with Ivan after their investor briefing, and we had a very good conversation, a great conversation with the CFO, had a great conversations with their operations person, and you saw we did some videos on it in terms of some of the things they're doing, and I've asked the CFO to come and join me for a video where we'll do a deep dive into their numbers, right? So they would have shared some projections on their prospectus in terms of dividend. And so I asked Ivan a question about that. And we had a very interesting talk. I told him what my projection for their dividends were this year. He told me how they go about doing that calculation and what their considerations are. It was such a insightful discussion, right? It was a very short, like 5-minute conversation, but it really helps me to understand how the company thinks in terms of what goes into the mind of the board, how they go about calculating the dividend. And I've also understood why the dividend has been what it's been. And I shared with him, for example, how I did my projections and how I thought that they would have done 34 million US last year in profits, and that's exactly what they did. And so I wanted to kind of set up this thing where I shared my analysis with him. I can see what they do in terms of their analysis as well, or how they look at things. And so I don't know if I'll get to record that session if we have it, but of course, we'll see how that goes. All right. So let's dig into a very important question right now, right? So $6.96, the price for Trans Jamaica as at today. And so based on the dividend that they paid last year, and of course, my question to Ivan was, are they on track to have that, increased? And if you watch their investor briefing, you will see what my answer was for that, right? So this is the dividend that they paid last year. And so checking that yield right now would be 3.6%, right? So what that would mean is that if I was looking at this stock for the very first time today, it would not meet my threshold for a dividend stock, right? Because it would be 3.6%. So of course, that's something to consider, but naturally with the consistency twice per year for the last 2 years, Ivan did mention that their intention is to pay twice per year going forward. And of course, we spoke about things like the concession agreement. We spoke about things like their projections for Williamsfield, what that profitability target is, and so on and so forth. Lots of valuable insights and information for them. So I would say watch the investor briefing, and yeah. All right, so let me see here. Michael said we told you. Well, we're talking about dividends, right? So I think that one is a no-brainer. So let me see if there are any comments or questions re dividend stock. So Cygnus is, I thought about Cygnus. I was a shareholder a few years back. They have gotten some good dividends from them. I don't think I was focused on the yield at that time. I think it was like, I don't remember when they listed, but it's like 2019, 2020, thereabout. Cygnus at one point was almost $30. I don't know if persons remember that. But I was focused on the time for capital gains for Cygnus, right? Not necessarily dividends, but me and a few friends, we've tracked Cygnus for a while. But yeah. All right. So Dalton says, big up Demetrius. Are you talking Demetrius Fairman? So some of you guys might have seen Demetrius Fairman doing content, with LGI shirt, etc. So for those of you familiar with Demetrius is now a part of our team. So he has joined Learn, Grow, Invest. He's working up a part of our team. He's leading content for us, and so you will be seeing him more and more on our platform, on our channel, leading different initiatives as it relates to content and investment education. All right. I took the tour today and the traffic volume definitely increased. I was looking for a thesis video on Trans Jamaica projected dividend payment. Okay, so I've done a few videos on them, so you can look back and see. TJ8 succession planning, we need to discuss it. That is actually what I was interested in talking with him about. So the CFO and I, we spoke about that briefly as well. And, she actually said to me that the questions that I asked them or have been asking them is the same frame of mind they're in terms of how they're planning and how they're, looking to move forward, right? So that was good to hear, because the concession agreement is 10 years out, so it's a ways away, and I'm just curious to understand what the process is, what it looks like, how is it decided, what will things look like in a few years, and things like that. All right. Yeah, so I think we can wrap this one up now. Let me see if there are any more comments here. Sagicor is good as well when it comes to dividends. Roshane says it is a good tactical allocation, Cygnus. I'll save that comment for another day. I'll leave that one for another day. To get the dividend yield back to 5%, they would have to increase their total dividend payout for 2026 to approximately 35 cents. Alicia, I shared my projections with Ivan. Ivan gave me his response, and I'm waiting 2 weeks' time for you guys to see what the dividend announcement will be, because I think it will be interesting. I think it will be interesting for sure. Would be nice if TJH purchased the North-South Highway. It's not being maintained properly. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure how that works. Haven't looked into it. Guys, any questions relating to dividend investing? That's what I'm sticking around for. If you have any questions relating to that, any brand new dividend investor, you want to ask any questions, you let me know. I can stick around for literally 2 more minutes to answer any questions. I'm going to ask everybody who's here to take a minute and like the video. It really does help our channel here. And I'm going to, since I have 147 people here, I'm going to mention what I mentioned at the start of the video, that we have a brand new YouTube channel out. It's our Grow Your Wealth YouTube channel. I'm going to share the link in the chat here so you can click on it immediately as we're about to end this stream. So I want you to go. So all 148 of you, I want you to go to this channel. I want you to subscribe to it, because that's where we're going to be putting our Grow Your Wealth content, and that's where we're going to have the stream when We normally have our conference in November that's online. This is a YouTube channel that is going to be on later in the year. So you want to stay subscribed to this one for the content that comes out. So if you are an entrepreneur, you're planning to start a business, you're hoping to start a business, you want to, for example, grow your business through content creation, then this upcoming conference on April 18th is one that you want to check out. And early bird tickets are available until the end of February, right? So go through the website, you can see the speakers, the topics, everything that we're going to be doing for the conference this year. You can go through past conferences if you're not familiar with our work. But this is a channel that we just created. I sent out an email about it today. And so you can learn more about it there, all right? So let me recap those who would have joined us late. My 3 favorite dividend stocks on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. So the first one is in this Pharma, and very, very consistent dividend paying company. I am anticipating that their dividend will increase this year. That's one. Second is Sterling Investments Limited. One of the only companies on the Jamaica Stock Exchange that does what we call a dividend reinvestment plan. So they reinvest your dividend into shares automatically for you. That's what we call a DRIP. They're one of the only companies that do that. So I'm a big fan of that. Their dividend has been consistent. Their price has also been consistent. And the third one, of course, Trans Jamaica Highway, we just went through it. And so those are my 3 favorite dividend stock as at this point, right? This changes from time to time. So I see some of you, like, there's this very weird thing that I noticed where when I say something, I think persons expect that it stays true forever. People change your minds, new information comes, you make different decisions. Like, that's normal, guys, right? That's natural, right? These are my 3 favorite right now. 6 months from now, it may change. Next year, it may change. So don't come back to me 5 years from now and say, Jermaine, you said these 3 are your favorite, and so it can't be anything else, right? I think that's kind of weird that people expect that things are like that, right? I just had to say that, right? Shireen says, how do you calculate your own dividend yield? I calculate it based on my average price, right? So look at your average price, calculate the annual dividend for the previous year, and you'll know what the estimated yield is, assuming the company pays the same dividend. But of course, if they don't, then you may have an issue there, all right? I am not even remotely watching it. I'm not even remotely watching it. Wrapping up stream here. Not even watching it, not reading anything, not seeing anything. Have not looked at it at all. The Sterling dividend reinvestment, is that tax-free? I'm not sure. I'll ask David. David Rose probably knows. All right, guys. So thank you so much for being here. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this on a replay. If you're a dividend investor, let me know. Some of you who commented your stocks, let me know in the comments under the video as well. I did say I would announce something as well. So something I want you to look out for. So one, we have our money and matrimony workshop coming up next week, Saturday, or week after Saturday. So that workshop is for couples who want to manage their money together. We have our conference coming up on April 18th. I said that before, but we're having next month a dividend investment challenge, right? So just like we had the 3-day challenge in January, we're having a dividend investment challenge. You might have noticed we're doing a lot of videos on dividends this year, right? That is not by coincidence. All of the content that we do here is strategic. It is to build up, certain core topics about our channel. And so dividend investing is one of our focus for 2026. So the dividend investment challenge fits into that. So it is going to be posted or announced, I think, a week from now. So if you're interested in that, look out for that. Be sure you're subscribed to our mailing list. Be sure you're following us on socials to be a part of that challenge. We're going to go over, pretty much start to finish everything that you need to know to start investing for dividends. We'll do things like, calculate yield, show you how to create your watch list, show you how to calculate how much cash you're going to get from dividends, all of that good stuff. So look out for that. And of course, thanks again for being here, and I'll see you again real soon.
You've always heard that you need to invest, but you don't know where to begin.
Don't worry, leave that to us. We've been teaching people how to invest for the last 8 years and have helped over 45,000 people get started with investing in a simple way. And now we've made the process even easier by creating a course that teaches you how to get started investing in 5 simple steps. And it's called our L.E.A.R.N method.
Before you invest, you need to 1. Look at your financial position. 2. Establish your personal goals. 3. Assess your investment options. 4. Research the best options for you. And 5. Normalize investing regularly.
With these 5 easy steps, you can start your investment journey with confidence and clarity. But wait, there's more. We've created templates and resources to help you take action right away. After this course, you will know how much you have to invest, your investment targets and timelines, and how to invest to achieve your goals. Register now at learngrowinvestclub.com.